Well, superstar Beyonce's newest album has a lot of people talking not just about the music, but the message behind it.
Missing say, hold up, they don't love you like I love you. Slow down, they don't love you like I love you. Back up, they don't love you like I love you. Step down, they don't love you.
The album was launched Saturday night on HBO, which is owned by CNN's parent company, Time Warner. It's been trending on social media, mostly over what appears to be some deeply personal lyrics. CNN Money senior media correspondent Brian Stelter joins us now from New York. Great to have you with us, Brian.
Thank you.
Now, this album is called Lemonade. When I think of lemonade, I think of sweet and bubbly, but this album sounds really angry about betrayal and revenge. Is it aimed at Jay-Z?
Parts of it sure seem to be, and that's why the web lit up when this premiered on HBO. The first 15 or 20 minutes of her hour-long movie seem aimed at her husband, and they directly addresses the long-standing rumors of infidelity and other sort of bad behavior in the marriage. Now, by the end of the hour-long movie, you see the family together with their daughter, Blue Ivy. So it had a lot of fans buzzing about what this album actually means. At the end of the movie, she released the full album on Tidal, the artist-owned streaming service, so people can listen for themselves. So it's now accessible for all. But it's a really interesting example of Beyonce sort of owning the conversation about her celebrity and about her relationship. In fact, we've even seen a woman, Rachel Roy, reply online. Some people have guessed for a long time that maybe she's a part of this situation, that maybe she has interest in Jay-Z and Jay-Z has interest in her. So we can, I think, show the tweet she posted, a sort of subtweet of Beyonce. She wrote, "I respect love, marriages, family, and strength. What shouldn't be tolerated by anyone, no matter what, is bullying of any kind." And you can see that's already had many, many retweets and comments. The fans are sort of in on it, even though it's not a direct response to Beyonce, it's a subtweet. I think what is so interesting about this is that Beyonce is moving into a new phase, it seems like. She is embracing her celebrity status. She's acknowledging the rumors about her relationship with Jay-Z. She's also speaking in a very pure feminist voice, also speaking about her black identity, about racial politics. For example, the video shows some of the mothers of victims of violence at the hands of police officers in the U.S. So you see a number of sort of evolutions here in Beyonce's image. And I think that's one of the reasons why her fans are so intrigued by this new visual album.
Yeah, it certainly raises more questions than answers.
Right.
And the way it was launched, it wasn't a traditional album launch. How do you think this launch will work in Queen Bee's favor?
This is the sort of thing I think the late Prince might appreciate. You know, we've talked a lot in the past few days about Prince's control over distribution, about his obsession with controlling his ownership of his music and about making sure fans access it on his own terms. Well, that's what Beyonce has done here. You think about it, Jay-Z and Beyonce are supporters of Tidal, which is a relatively new music streaming service that has had a rocky start. But Prince was an early supporter of it. He put most of his albums onto Tidal, partly because it shares more of the wealth with the artists. And Beyonce is doing the same thing here by releasing her album exclusively on Tidal, at least for several weeks, maybe months to come, as she is showing support for this streaming service. So you think about it, sort of a 1-2 punch by one of the biggest artists in the world. First, an hour-long movie on HBO. What artist wouldn't want that? And then she puts her entire album onto Tidal, which you have to subscribe to in order to access. She is showing how musicians and artists are trying to have control in a music industry that is really up for grabs right now.
And Beyonce isn't one to do many one-on-one interviews of late. No doubt there's a lot of media interest now, not only wanting an interview with Beyonce, but possibly also Rachel Roy.
Yes, I think this only increases the intrigue about her relationship status, about her marital status. There were so many memes when this movie and this album premiered about Jay-Z. People wondering if Jay-Z was okay, if Jay-Z was reacting to this. People curious about his feelings about this album. Now, like I said, it has a lot of themes of betrayal, a lot of themes about heartbreak, but then at the end shows them as a happy family, which again only increases the intrigue about this. You're right, she rarely does interviews. She doesn't have to, after all. Look at all the paparazzi, all the photographers taking pictures over there on that red carpet. She doesn't need to seek out the press or grant interviews. But I'm sure Rachel Roy may have more to say in the days to come. And Beyonce used Twitter and other social media to spread her message. For example, tweeting out the album, her only tweet in 3 years. So she really knows how to make an impact when she wants to.
Yeah, and it's interesting to note, last time I checked Twitter, Rachel Roy was trending.
Oh, yes.
A lot
Yes,
of Beyonce fans that are quite angry.
Absolutely. This is only the beginning, I think, and not to be cynical, but I'm sure it helps the album as well.
That is true. Brian Stelter, as always, great to have you with us.
Thanks.
And thanks everyone for joining us here on CNN Newsroom. I'm Lynda Kinkade. Leading Women is just ahead, but first I'll be back with a look at your headlines.